said Lorenzo because in the Dominican Republic, I don't go by my name, I go by Lorenzo. Lorenzo's leaving. So like I'm running to the door, so I open the door. They were already waiting and prepared for her to get the cue to come in. And I hurry up and run up to the car. I'm like, bro, like open the door. I hear all these dudes coming from around the corner, so I'm over here sprinting full speed. And as soon as I reach to grab the bag, she comes up from behind me, jumps into my bag. I'm like over here, you know, trying to like sling her off of me. The way how she was grabbing onto me, like her nails was like literally like digging into my neck. I gotta get comfortable for this. Hey, what's up everybody? It's J-Rod. So in today's video, I'm gonna be sharing with you a crazy story time, a crazy experience that I had when I was in the Dominican Republic, the story time where I got set up to be robbed in the DR. Now, before I start this video, please listen to everything that I'm about to say in these disclaimers, okay? The first thing is that anytime I do a video that is reflecting on a negative experience I had, whether it be in the DR or any country I go to, is not meant to bash the country or to make the country look bad or to scare people from traveling to the country. Like literally it's all for informative purposes because I truthfully believe that people can learn from these type of things. And the second thing is that Dominican Republic is still my all-time favorite country, and I still have so much love for this country. So I don't want people to think that by me doing this video, I'm playing into that narrative that, you know, many people have been saying like you shouldn't travel to the DR, because the DR is an incredible place. This is where I want to start my family. I want to have my kids. I want to do everything like in the Dominican Republic. I just want to say that because like I do know I have like some Dominican subscribers, and I've had other videos where I talked about negative experiences in the DR, and I done had Dominicans get upset about some of the things I said. And for the people who aren't from the Dominican Republic, like I said, this should be used as a learning experience because who knows, you could be in the same situation as me. So that's the only reason why I do these type of videos. It's not for views, it's not for likes, it's not for attention. Like literally, I'm just telling you how it is. And I've always been this way on my channel. I've been super consistent about that. Like I'm gonna tell you my wins and my losses. And that's how it's always gonna be on this channel. And then the second thing, the second part of this disclaimer, I just wanna say that this situation happened a very long time ago, okay? This happened a super long time ago, before I even had a YouTube channel. Because what a lot of people don't realize is that when I first came into the Dominican Republic, I didn't have YouTube. Like I didn't post any YouTube videos because I was like really uncomfortable with the whole YouTube thing and how it worked. And so like I ain't make no videos when I first came out to the DR. I was a little chicken, I'm not even gonna lie. Cause I just didn't know I ain't know how to do the whole YouTube thing. And so with that being said, like y'all have to keep in mind, I ain't know shit about this country. I didn't know how to move in this country. I believe I was like around 19 when this happened. So if you take a step back in time and think about when you were a teenager, haven't we all did some dumb shit when we were teenagers? Were you making all the smartest decisions? Obviously not. If you say you are, then you're definitely lying because everybody made some like dumb mistakes when they were younger. So like before people start going in on me, like I did want to just let y'all know that this was like, I mean, I'm 21 now, but like this was like a while back. And so when I did this, like I said, I ain't know nothing about this country. I didn't know how to move in the country. This was before I was even fluent in Spanish. Okay, I barely knew Spanish. Like, I just want to put that in perspective that this happened almost like over 2 years ago, and I'm just now talking about this on camera. But guys, like I can assure you that I still love this country, and you know, if you get offended by this video, then that's just up to you. And I've already prepared for the worst. So I do know that this video is probably gonna get some hate and there's gonna be a lot of judgment, but like I already told you the little disclaimers in the beginning. So, you know, the way you feel, that's completely up to you. All right, so with that all being said, we're gonna head to jump straight into this video. So right off the rip in the Dominican Republic, my first time there, ain't know nobody, ain't had no friends, ain't no shit about this damn country. Seriously, like I just came in stone cold as like a beginner, ain't know nothing. So one of the first people who I met, well, I met a couple of people, but one of the first people who I met was in a Kamado, And me and the guy, like, we was real cool. I wouldn't even say we was friends. It was more like associates, acquaintance type of thing. Like, it wasn't like we were actually friends because I didn't know this person. But anyway, so he introduced me to two of his friends. One of the friends was his girlfriend. And there was another girl who was friends with his girlfriend. So it was like all four of us. So he was trying to put me on with the girl, and it was gonna be like this little double date type of thing, like him and his girl, then me and this girl, whatever. Now, mind you, coming into the Dominican Republic, I wasn't looking for love. I wasn't looking for a relationship. Like, I wasn't looking for none of that shit. So I want to say this because I don't want people to think like, oh, you was trying to find love and yada, yada, yada. Like, nah. Like, it was just like, we was just chilling. We was just friends. So I actually became friends with the girl. Girl, real pretty, gorgeous chick. I'm going to call her Camilla for the sake of this video because I don't want to, you know, put real names out there. So we're going to call her Camilla. But anyways, me and Camilla, we got real cool, and all four of us started hanging out and, you know, going to different places around Santo Domingo. So one day, Giovanni and Camilla, they both had proposed to me that there's this rapper in the DR, he's doing a video, and they were asking me, like, did I want to be a part of it? They're going to do a video shoot. And of course, like, brand new to the country, I was like, hell yeah, like, I want to do a music video. Like, that seems fun or whatever. I didn't know nothing about the DR, so I was just like kind of just going along with it. All right, so the next day they told me that we're actually going to be doing the shoot at a hotel and that I was going to need to bring changes of clothes for the shoot. And so the name of this hotel, I'm not going to say the name of the hotel because I don't want to bring negative publicity to it. And also because other hotels reach out to me sometimes. Now I got sponsorships and stuff on YouTube. Like, I'm not trying to mess all that up. So I'm just not going to say the name of the hotel. But anyways, just know it was a really, 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 really nice hotel. So they said that we was gonna meet up at the hotel and the rooms was already booked. Like, everything was already set up. So literally all I had to bring was just my clothes and the stuff that I needed for the shoot. So we get to the hotel and this is like, cause damn, this shit happened a long time. I think this was the next day. Yeah, this was actually the following day. So it was actually not one day, but 2 days. Yeah, it was 2 days later. So we ended up going to the hotel and me and Camilla had a room, and then Giovanni and then his girlfriend, they had a room. And there was other people there that had rooms and stuff, and it was just like a bunch of people upstairs. It was all like on the same floor. So the only people who I know is, you know, my 3 friends, obviously. The first scene that we're gonna do is a club scene. So like everybody was like getting ready and stuff. So I decided that I was gonna take a shower. Now Camilla, she had told me that she wanted to get ready with me in the bathroom while I was taking a shower. So I went into the shower, and while I'm showering up, she's like standing in the mirror, putting on her makeup, putting on her clothes and stuff. I ain't care about being naked in front of her, I didn't care. So midway while I'm in the shower, I hear the door open, the front door open. And Camilla, she actually leaves the bathroom and she goes to the front door. And I started hearing people whispering. So I turned down the water a little bit because it was just kind of random, like how she just left. And like I could hear people whispering, and it was in Spanish, but I swear to God, I heard the word mochila. In that moment, I didn't really think nothing of it. Like I was just in the shower or whatever, but it just was like a little suspicious that, you know, she just left the bathroom suddenly. And then she was talking to some dude who sounded like Giovanni, but I didn't know if it was him, but it just sounded like him. It just was so weird that they was like talking, and then she heard away from the door and came back to the bathroom. So I had got out the shower, and then we're like hurrying up and we're getting ready to go to the club. So I grabbed my stuff and we head out to the club and all the people who are gonna be there for the shoot. So we go to the club and we do the shoot, and we had an awesome ass time. Like everybody was like super lit, everybody was drinking. Like Dominicans, that is one thing I can say, like they know how to have fun in the club. So everybody's just turning up, like we drinking, having a good time. And I went to go like order a drink, and so I had my wallet with me. Now before I left the hotel, before I even had the shower, I had already distributed where I was gonna put my money. Like I had about, I forgot exactly how much money I had with me in total, but I remember in my wallet, I put 2,000 pesos in my wallet. Now 2,000 pesos, that's $40 more or less. And so when I went to the club to take out money out my own wallet, why is it 1,000 pesos missing? And so I'm just, in my head, I'm thinking like, bro, like, I could have sworn I put 2,000 pesos in my wallet, but I was like, maybe I'm just tripping. Like, I don't know. But like you just, you know, when you just know when you did something, I was like, bro, I know I put 2,000 in my wallet. Like, but then I started second guessing myself. I was like, maybe I didn't. I'll just check when I get back to the hotel. But anyways, we continue to do the shoot. I had the drinks. I actually go to the ATM to take out a little bit more money because, you know, that little 1,000 pesos wasn't gonna last for the amount of time that we was in the clubs. Anyways, after the club scene, we were gonna finish the rest back at the hotel because the hotel actually had like a swimming pool and a jacuzzi. Like it was really nice. I had completely forgotten about the wallet situation when we got back because like we was just having fun or whatever. So at the pool, they actually have like a changing room, or really it's a bathroom, or like I don't know what you want to call it. Like it was basically a bathroom. We're just gonna leave it at that. It was like a bathroom. So basically everybody was like getting ready and changing for their next set of clothes, because we actually brought our clothes with us to the club because we didn't know if we were gonna need to change at the club. So we just ended up bringing all of our clothes with us. So anyways, we ended up changing at the pool, and we was actually kind of running out of time, so the director was trying to rush. Well, at the time he said we was running out of time, but I'm gonna get to that later. But anyways, so we ended up changing for like the pool scene, and we ended up doing that shoot. And bruh, if you never done a music video before, like the shit takes a long time, and you have to keep recording the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And at that point, I was getting really kind of irritated a little bit. I was getting kind of tired. And then like the director, he spoke Spanish, so like I was trying to understand what he was trying to tell me, and like I wasn't getting it because this was, like I said, this was before I was fluent in Spanish. And so like at that time I was struggling trying to understand the directions he was telling me and all this stuff. But anyway, so that was kind of funny. That was a little funny. But anyways, we finally get through the shoot, and he said we was running out of time, but we were up there filming for like a good 2.5 to 3 hours, you know, just doing different scenes. I'm like, how much do you need for a pool scene? Like literally it's just people sitting around the pool, drinking, having a good time. Like, I didn't get what was taking so long. But anyway, and I guess too, the reason why it took so long, because it was a lot of people. And so trying to like direct a lot of people, like I could see that being a problem. But anyway, so we ended up finishing the shoot, and the Dominicans, they still wanted to continue to party afterwards, of course. And so I was like tired. I was kind of over the whole thing. Like I was ready to go back to the room. And so I went back to the room, and the rest of the people who was part of the video, they just continued to stay, and just like they turned it into like an actual little party. So it was like a party on top of a party. So I went back to the room, and then that's when I immediately started back thinking about the whole $20 going missing, or the 1,000 pesos. So I went straight into my bag, and of course, the 1,000 pesos was not there. So I checked in all the other places, and I was like, okay, like somebody stole my money. I was like, it was either Camilla or Giovanni. But like I said, when Giovanni came to the room, because I still to this day believe it was Giovanni who was in the room talking to her. I didn't have proof it was him, but like I was listening, I was trying to listen to the voice, and it sounded very similar to Giovanni, so I'm assuming it was him. So I was like, either one of them took the money. So at this point, I'm just kind of like getting a little like upset because I don't want to be there anymore, because I'm like, I don't deal with thieves and people stealing and stuff like that. Like, that's just not cool to me. So at this point, my heart is kind of racing because I'm about to confront Camilla about, you know, the whole money situation. And the thing with these type of situations, it was one of those things where like, I didn't have like actual proof that it was her, but I knew it was her. You know, like, have y'all ever been in a situation like that where you just know it was somebody, but like you don't have actual physical proof it was them? So I knew like the whole dynamic of everything was about to change when she came through the door. So not even 10 minutes I was in the room, because I'm still thinking she up there partying and stuff, having a good time. She comes into the room and she's like, you know, like, what's wrong? Because she saw my face, like I was looking kind of pissed off. And you know, she saw my face and she knew I was looking kind of pissed off and shit. I told her, I was like, yo, I had 2,000 pesos in my wallet before I left the club. And then when I got to the club, I only had 1,000 pesos. I was like, somebody went through my bag and took my money. I was like, did you go into my bag and take my stuff? And of course, she started playing like the whole, what are you talking about? And she was just kind of getting upset. And you know, like when you can tell people are lying, they try to like flip the shit back on you. Like she tried to use like that reverse psychology shit, trying to make it seem like, oh, like I'm the reason why like I lost the money and all this. So, like she tried to make it seem like I might have lost it, whatever. And I was like, no, like I remember, bro, like I had 2,000 pesos in my wallet. And she was just getting like kind of all mad and stuff, saying like, I don't know what you're talking about and stuff like that. And I was like, all right, whatever. So at this point, I'm like, nah, she lying. So at this point, I'm like, all right, I'm finna get out of here. Like, I don't want to sleep here tonight. Like, I'm just finna go back home. At this point, I'm over the situation. I'm about to text Giovanni and tell him like, look, man, you know, I don't deal with that stealing stuff, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm finna bounce. So I'm like texting him from my Maquito now. What a Maquito is like, I call it like a little trap phone. Like, it's a small little phone. in the Dominican Republic. And the reason why I was using the Maquito because I don't like taking my smartphone with me everywhere. And so my smartphone, I left that at the hotel and I only took the Maquito with me out to the club. But when I was looking through the contacts in my Maquito, I realized that Giovanni, his name wasn't in my Maquito. So I was like, oh, I gotta text him from my smartphone, my iPhone. So I go into my bag and my fucking phone is missing. I was like, oh. I was like, so now we stealing phones. So we stealing money and we stealing phones. So then that's when I called my phone from the Maquito, the little trap phone. The shit is vibrating in her bag. I'm like, so you stealing my phone now? So that right there, that already really confirmed that she stole the money. So my phone started ringing in the bag. And I was like, bro, that's my phone ringing. I was like, you took my phone. And so then I was like, give me the bag, give me the bag. So she wouldn't do it, so I started to walk over there. And as soon as I reached to grab the bag, she comes up from behind me, like there's a bed like sitting next to us. There's like a bed sitting next to us. So she comes up from behind me, leaps onto the bed, then jumps onto my back. And she's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? This girl did like a freaking spider monkey, whatever. I don't know what you want to call that, but she was like on some acrobatic shit, okay? And she jumps on top of my back and she's like doing this and stuff. And she's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And she was like, that is my bag. That is my bag. Like she was just telling me like, that's her bag. That's her. I was like, yo, you got my phone, nigga. So we just going back and forth and like this. So I'm like over here, you know, trying to like sling her off of me. And she had like these little fake, I guess like acrylic nails. So the way how she was grabbing onto me, like her nails was like literally like digging into my neck. So like I had scratches like this, like all down my neck. And so like I'm over here trying to like go into the bag and I'm trying to get her off of me. I'm going like this and that. And then finally, like I do this, she falls back into the bed. So then I hurry up and grab the phone. Not only did she have my phone, but she had my charger and she had my blue Priceline card. So I'm like, this girl, she done took like literally all the most important shit from me. I'm like hurrying up, like I'm just trying to gather all my belongings like real quick. And she's like being all hype, just cussing me out in Spanish. So finally I get my suitcase. It was like really like a duffel bag. So then she reaches to go grab her phone and she starts sending voice notes to, I guess, whoever. I don't know who she was talking to, but she was like, Gerard is, well, she didn't say Gerard, she said Lorenzo, because in the Dominican Republic, I don't go by my name, I go by Lorenzo. And so she was like, Lorenzo's leaving. Like she was saying it on the phone. She was like, Lorenzo's leaving. So like I'm running to the door, so I open the door and then I hear, so like the way that the hotel is set up, it's like a T shape, right? So I hear like a group of dudes, they coming from like around the corner. And so I go into like the opposite direction and I hear them. It's like a big group of dudes coming. And so then I'm like, oh shit. Like I gotta go. So I took off and I started sprinting. So I passed the elevator. I was like, nah, I can't go into the elevator because it's gonna take all day. So then I just go straight for the steps. So I'm over here running full speed, end up going down the stairs. We're going down the stairs, and so then eventually I took my flip-flops off. I had my chancletas. So like I had like the little slide flip-flops, so I took those off, and so like I'm just sprinting down the highway, and so like I'm running into oncoming traffic. I wasn't even really looking both ways for real. Like I was just running because I was like, these dudes, they over here following me. So like I'm running out into the street, and so then finally I see a car Publico come by. So then I hurry up and run up to the car. I'm like, bro, like open the door. So I hurry up and hop into the door, and in the back seat is like this older lady, and then next to the older lady it's like this real big heavy set dude. And then I'm like breathing and panting all hard, and I done took my shoes off and everything. Like I said, I was running down the street in Dominican Republic. I swear to God, I can't make this up. Anyway, so we're in the we're in the car, and like the dude was asking me like, oh my God, like what happened? And he's like, what happened to your neck? Because like he saw like all the scratches and stuff from the girl, like her little acrylic nails. I'm over here explaining the whole situation to them, and I was just telling them, I was like, bro, just drive, just keep going. So then the lady in the back seat, she was like, mi amor, she was like, they were trying to set you up. She was like, those dudes, they was about to rob you. And so when I had explained this story the other day to another one of my friends, a subscriber, well, I call him my friend now because we cool. He was like, yeah, like 9 times out of 10 that those dudes, they was probably going to like come to the room. They was going to probably rob you, or they was going to make you go to the ATM. It was going to be like one of those type of situations. But like, that's what everybody in the car Publico was telling me. They was like, yeah, like they were trying to set you up or whatever. By having you in that hotel room. And I don't know like what exactly they were gonna do, but like that's what everybody was coming to the conclusion. And so the next day, I actually received a message from Camilla. She sends me a message asking, can she talk? And I told her, it's like, pretty much like, yo, stay away from me. I was like, you're a monster. I was like, you tried to take my cell phone. You took all my money. I was like, bro, like, I don't want to have nothing to do with you. So in this message, I pretty much said, I trusted in you and you took advantage of me last night. You took all my money. And then the next message, I said, you took all my money with intentions to try to take my cell phone. You did this because I was drunk, and do not return to talk to me. Stay far away from me. And I said, you're a monster. And the same thing went with Giovanni too. I was like, you guilty by association, my nigga. I can't be cool with you knowing that you was probably in on this whole operation as well. So I ended up cutting him out. But anyways, in the end, like, I haven't heard or seen from that ever again. But at that point, I was actually about to leave and go back to the United States, because that just kind of freaked me out. That whole situation freaked me out. But like I said, my theory was I felt like they were about to rob me right then and there in the room, because immediately when she got on WhatsApp and was sending the messages, it wasn't even 2 seconds. All those dudes came from out the room. So it was almost like they were waiting and they were plotting. Like, after the video shoot was over, I felt like they were already waiting and prepared for her to get the cue to come in. So that's why I'm probably thinking, she was probably thinking like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get him to lay down, we're gonna be in the bed, and then y'all just gonna come in and like go through the hotel and basically quote unquote rob. Like, I feel like she was gonna play it off, do some shit like that. But nah, it was poorly executed, because what gave it away was when I was in the shower and she had left the shower and was talking to somebody in the bedroom. Had she not done that, I probably would have not thought like somebody had stole my money or whatever. But because like it was already kind of fishy from the jump, I had already kind of like put 2 and 2 together. But then by the time like when I found out that my phone was in her bag, which again was stupid. Why would you leave the phone on in the bag? That's when I was like, yeah, I gotta go. But yeah, that's pretty much what happened. That was just a really, really crazy experience in the DR. Like I said, this happened a long time ago. This is my first time in the DR, and yeah, it was like a very, very sketchy situation. I still do think like you should travel to the Dominican Republic. It is still my #1 all-time favorite country in this world, and it's always gonna remain that way. Like, until I find another country that tops that, the DR is still #1 for me. Like I said, I know like some people, they're gonna hear this and they're gonna feel like I'm playing into this narrative that the DR is dangerous, or some people are gonna be afraid to like travel here. But honestly, if you let one bad experience video stop you from traveling to another country, then I just feel like that's completely foolish. Like, that's foolish and that's stupid, you know, to like watch a video and be like, oh, I'm not gonna travel to the Dominican Republic. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you for watching. Peace.